right, cool. So, hey everybody in Spookville.
Hello.
It is Brian and I here for our show. So this week we have again Halloween Horror Night stuff and just general Halloween things. I've put this little thing in a different container because it was a little bit too deep in the bowl I had before, but it was at the maximum fill, so it wasn't able to spill out of the sides. Now it looks really cool. I'm just going to switch to the overhead shot. It's not really right now, but you can see it kind of hovers on the table, which is pretty cool. So first I want to mention, people are watching or rewatching that I've picked a date. Hopefully Brian can make it for the first annual, hopefully annual, Orlandave meetup during Halloween Horror Nights. That will be right there on the 16th of October, which is a Wednesday.
And what time, Dave?
It's what time is it? 5 o'clock.
No. What time will the meetup be?
5 o'clock. I just said that.
Okay.
So again, that's 5 p.m. That's, I guess, not going to play. Oh, there we go. Wednesday, October 16th. I was going to say like after 6:30, but I think during Horror Nights, we'll see. It could be later if parking's an issue. So let us know if you'd rather have. Oh, hey, Brandy. If you'd rather have it be later, but definitely what?
So if it starts at 5, I will not be there because I have to swipe in at 5.
Why do you have to swipe in at 5?
Because that's my in time.
For what?
For Horror Nights.
You're working on Horror Nights?
Is that the not Horror Nights date?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I will be there. Woohoo! Unless they say, hey guys, guess what? We're going to add a date.
Going to add the date because somebody already bought the park out. That's why there's no Horror Nights that night.
Yeah.
They're not going to suddenly do that. I mean, I guess if the client for some reason cancels and there's enough time, but
there's not going to be time.
That.
They have to schedule us in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But Brandy, I don't know if you missed it. Dave just announced our Horror Nights meetup.
Yep.
So October 16th at 5 o'clock in where?
In City Walk. I'll probably look around and find a good spot that everyone can find. Again, I guess starting at 5 o'clock, and then like if you don't get there till 6:30, fashionably late. You know. And
maybe I don't know, we can hang around. Maybe we'll go to dinner together. I don't know.
Yep. But that's just a sort of a placeholder time. So it could change if this thing is cool, but it gets a lot of water on the table. If people ask for it. I don't know why my brain couldn't finish that sentence. Popular demand, I guess. I don't know. So again, just wanted to emphasize that it is the 16th October. So I was going to do another one in between, but I just hadn't remembered to. So it's kind of a test run. The one that we had that you and I went to, it was all right. I'm gonna see if I can find a better place. If you are watching and are going to be attending, and you have any suggestions for what would be easiest to get to, City Walk obviously, because you don't need to have a ticket to get in, and it's pretty easy once you get to parking.
Yeah.
So, and I know that 2 of you guys will be on site during that time. Luckily, Brandy and Dutch's will the dates overlap. So
cool.
That plus you have an extra day off that week, so it works out. Unfortunately, I think I mentioned this last time. Unfortunately, we can't go to Horror Nights with you guys because you're working and we're both blocked out. So,
Yeah.
on the days you picked.
The good news is
unfortunately.
you could come see me in the house.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could do is buy a team member discounted ticket, but I kind of, I haven't bought a Horror Nights ticket in a long time, and with all the nights we have, some team members are predictably complaining about it. Like, there's 42 nights now, and there's only like 12 or 14.
Yeah, like we.
Oh, it's
we
13. That's right. They had to add an extra date because it's 13 nights now. So, and we have preview. So it's really 43 nights, and only 13 of them are blocked out, and people are still crying about it. But
yeah.
I say it's something that I've been wanting them to do for a few years, which sounds strange, but it's because honestly I feel badly for our guests, because you look around, you see the park's crowded, and sure, a lot of them are guests that are paying to be there, but a good portion of them are people who, our team members who get in for free all the whole season, and it's just making the lines longer. It's making it harder to walk through the park. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So far this year, it hasn't been super busy. So we'll see.
Now, I did talk to someone about that, and they think it's because there's more nights, so the guests don't need to rush so much to get into the
They
park.
don't need a rush of fear.
Yeah.
But there were not as many last year, but there were still a lot last year. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it just hasn't picked up yet.
Yeah.
But
Or maybe that's why there's the blockout dates, because maybe they're all the pre-order tickets and all that, they've been in those dates. I don't know.
I doubt it, because it would make it, the blockout dates, if anything, would make it even more busy now than later. So that's not.
That's
really,
what I mean. Maybe they're thinking that's going to be their busy days. Or the busy
but I'm
nights.
saying that last year, in the beginning of the season, even the first week, it was packed, and it's fairly busy. But I've only seen a wait time over about 100 minutes briefly for Stranger Things. But man, the line to get into Stranger Things, I was working in the big stay and scream area, it was way backed up. If you're familiar with the park, they let out, there's some buildings like in front of the Mummy, and then there's Gramercy Park, and then you go back towards sort of Monsters, around the block. It was all the way past Finnegan's, and then all the way along the street over to the Irish shop, just for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And that opened they posted a 90-minute wait when it first opened, and now this is 90 minutes before everybody waiting at the gates even were let in.
Yeah.
So it went to 100 minutes, and then it went down from there. So your house, it probably has a constant flow that you see.
Yeah.
But it's often like at 20, 25 minutes. So.
Yeah, and I'm aware it goes up and down. Now, part of that is we've gotten the house attendant side of it, like the attractions operations side, has gotten a few weeks of what we call capacity, where we got all the goals that we were supposed to meet in terms of attendance. They're supposed to see a certain number of guests every hour, and we've been doing that. So they attribute that to us called scaring forward, where they see one thing, then they rush to the next thing, then they rush to the next thing, then they rush to the next thing, and
it's also probably a byproduct of where you are, because it's literally the first scare zone. I mean, first house you can go into, so people probably go there early. I still say go to Springfield, wait in that stay and scream area, and go to the back, because consistently for the first hour, maybe more, House of the Thousand Corpses is a 5-minute wait.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes to 25. It gets higher later in the evening because it's a really good house. But it's amazing to me. I wasn't able to go to the Stay and Scream area in Springfield because I was 2 minutes past park close. They wouldn't let me in.
Oh,
So I had to go over to Delansosaurus. Turns out I could have gone around, but the person who I asked was high upper management in my department, and that's the kind of person you don't want to stand around and
argue with.
argue with.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, all right. But even after, like, I waited for the park to open and walked all the way back, it was still a walk on.
Mhm.
And it's not because, obviously it's a contender for House of the Year, but it's just that people, and I was guilty of this at Pandora. People walk in and just keep going straight, and okay, this is the first house, let's go in it.
Yeah.
And maybe in Ghostbusters and Stranger Things are probably bigger names in as far as awareness. So that's a big draw as well. And people probably just don't know as much about the Springfield area because the New York area is more visible, I think.
Yeah. Now there's two forms of thinking here. So you could go to the Springfield area, do House of 1,000, then go over to Depths of Fear and Nightingales, and potentially knock out 3 houses within, let's say, an hour and a half. The downside of that is, like, if you really want to go to Stranger Things or Ghostbusters, by the time you get there, it's going to be a good line.
Yeah, but I've seen it be, from the very opening, pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to wait that same amount of time no matter what. But if you go to Stranger Things first and then go to the back of the park, then you'll hit that wait time too.
Yeah.
So if you get the low wait times out of the way, you come to the front of the park, you're going to wait that time anyway.
Yeah.
And if you're in the very front of the line, like, oh, cool. I'm in the front of Stay and Scream. Well, you waited an hour and a half, 2 hours to be there.
Yeah.
So you're going to wait.
Yeah.
There's no way of getting around it. Express helps. But without Express, if you go to those first houses, you're probably going to wait an hour or more, and then you're going to wait even longer in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, by the way, according to the house attendant lead, Killer Clowns has seen the most guests throughout the event so far.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of why our line stays low but consistent. And the first week we got an award for attendance.
I don't know. Maybe it's all the people worrying.
But they shouldn't worry. All we want to do is kill them.
Oh, well,
Yeah, nothing to worry about.
Universal should be worried about that because they can't return and buy more merchandise if they're dead. When you're dead, all you can do is release new albums. So.
Hi, John.
Oh, hey, John, with an avatar that's not showing. Oh, it's showing on your screen. It's not showing here. Up
There it is.
This is always delayed, even though it's the direct stream. Whatever. So we're talking about Halloween because it's that time of the year, and just jump into some park news. I hope you guys. Well, maybe you didn't see it, but hi! I forgot about that. I spent a lot of time working on these overlays and things like that. I downloaded a bunch of templates. A lot of them I'm going to use in other projects, but we are planning on doing a rock talk today because thankfully I don't have anywhere I have to go urgently, and you don't today. So,
I mean, not really. Like once we've completed, I'm going out, but I've got time.
Yeah. It just last time the show ended up being over 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So like you know what? I'm kind of tired. I figure that even though we have a wonderful, small but wonderful audience, they're probably like, about other things. Yeah, they need to be done.
Yeah.
So I was like, probably shouldn't bother doing the talk of rock. So,
but thank you guys for coming in every week. I know not all of you comment, but those who are here all the time, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And those of you who are new checking it out, welcome.
I know a lot of you can't be here live. That's the problem with live. So thank you for watching it on demand. So jumping into park news, we're going to travel all the way to Japan, where the new details about Super Nintendo World are coming. I can't believe it's been since 2017.
Yeah.
Since it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but so Tom Williams, who's here a lot, but oversees all of the parks worldwide, mentioned in I forget where it was, but had confirmed that the two initial rides will be a Super Mario Kart ride, which we all figured, and Yoshi's Adventure.
Oh, cool.
So,
all right.
Not a whole lot of details yet. We don't have an official, haven't been told officially that where Super Nintendo World will be in Orlando. There's not a whole lot of possible places, so it's kind of clear where, but it's going to be opening in. So yeah, my notes are Universal Parks and Resorts Chairman Tom Williams shocked nobody by also stating there will be food and merchandise for purchase.
Seems logical.
He said it anyway, but like, yeah,
well,
of course.
I think you have to say the obvious things because, like, oh, we're going to open a theme park. Will there be food? Can I buy things? No.
Once I spend money on going into your park, how do I spend more money?
Yeah. It seems like an obvious thing. You're going into a theme park. There's stuff to buy and food to get. But it helps to state the obvious of, yes, there will be food. You can stay at a hotel.
Yeah.
As
of now, there aren't any Nintendo themed hotels, at least announced.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Especially if, like, when you get in the elevator, when you press the button, the doors close. It should make that warp pipe sound when the elevator moves.
I was thinking you would say.
Or when you walk in, maybe.
Well, when the doors close, it makes that thwomp sound.
Oh no, I was thinking more like it's a warp pipe.
Yeah.
Especially if they can make like a freestanding elevator that is like a pipe.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you see in a mall. Usually it's glass, but so.
Now I would like to see, and it's not my decision. I'm not, part of the team, but it seems an obvious choice to do something with Star Fox there.
Yeah. Well, these are just the initial. The expansions will happen, and they probably haven't announced everything. I doubt. I mean, it could be. I mean, well, Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Opened with 2 rides. Only one of them actually opened. So, but it's a first. It's a first step towards the Super Nintendo World. I still feel like the prime time for Super Nintendo World was like the 90s or the early 2000s. I feel like there's a big spike, especially around the original Nintendo Wii. Maybe I'm wrong because I don't really play games anymore, but it feels like it's kind of slowed down a lot since the like, if you want to call it the second golden age or whatever. It just feels like it's a park that needed to have happened 20, 30 years ago. But
I mean, we'll see. You never know.
It's gonna be hard to tell because, of course, you put something new in. Like even people even go to like Fast and Furious. But over time, when people when people say, "Oh, it's great," or "It isn't great," or like once you go once, repeat. If it's consistently like Wizarding World of Harry Potter, it'd be great if they had put it in when they initially wanted to, but it still draws people in.
I mean, yeah, 10 years later,
for some reason, Star Wars isn't doing that for Disney. Apparently, it's a bomb, and not the bomb.
Yeah.
To quote something that's outdated, on both coasts.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to Galaxy's Edge here in Florida, but there's a possibility I might be going soon if things work out, because I told if you're not aware, we get complimentary or comp passes for Universal, and we don't really have, especially me, we don't really have anybody to give them to, because my mom doesn't want to visit. My sister kind of visits sometimes, and like the people who I know now and like hang out with are people I met there at Universal, so they already have tickets. You know, my other friend is this guy. He has comp passes of his own.
Yeah. I could count myself in if I wanted to.
But
kind of a waste, but yeah.
Yeah. But there are people over at Disney who have, it seems less common. Maybe they just don't get as many in a year, who have the same situation where they're like, oh, I have all these passes and I don't have anyone to give them to because everybody I know works there or, maybe lives out of state.
Yeah. And we also have a lot of team members who are also cast members. In fact, somebody I met who does Anarcade. One of the characters in Anarcade works for Disney World, Universal Orlando, and SeaWorld Orlando. So yeah.
So as I was saying, so what we do sometimes is we find someone who works at Disney and wants to go to Universal, we trade.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got into Disneyland twice when I was in California without having to pay. And Stella. And so, where I'm getting with that, I have some, I don't know, when's the last time you looked at your passes?
Recently, when my mom was in town, I comped her in. I've got, I guess 6 now? No, 7. I should have 7 now.
Wow.
7 or 8.
Total?
Yeah.
I guess you use yours more than I thought you did.
There's also somebody else who I comp in, and they bring their families, so
okay.
I'll use like 4 or 5 at a time sometimes.
No. Well, I don't know very many people, so there's 2 different types of passes. There's the regular quarterly distribution, and then there's what they call limited blockout date ones, which I haven't figured out when they come out, but they're rare.
Mm-hmm.
I have 25 regular ones and 5 of the non-blockout dates, or the reduced blockout dates. So I have a total of 30 right now. And I told somebody else we had a conversation yesterday, or I had a conversation with somebody at work yesterday, and she was saying she worked at Disney. I'm like, do you happen to have any comp passes or know somebody who does? And then I told her how many I have from Universal, and she's like, oh, well, maybe, well, that's good to know. So that's a slow, long way of saying that I could be getting some new comp passes.
Cool.
So I'll be able to go to the Florida ghost town, apparently, and check that out. And, a lot of other stuff. See some construction updates. I don't know if the silly gondola system is running yet. I guess I should look into that. If it's going, that's something you don't have to pay for, as far as I can tell. But so on to park news. Very soon, Brian and I will be going to Brick or Treat again. Hopefully they'll let us on the candy trail again.
I emailed them about that. They've yet to respond to me, but I've at least reached out to them.
But yeah, I mean, last year we just said, well, SeaWorld lets me, and they're like, okay. But the Pirate Island Hotel tour and grand opening date is going to be April 17th of next year, so which is earlier than I expected, and I don't know what it is about us talking that makes Stella have to pee, but she'll just have to wait. And like I said, Brick or Treat starts not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So Stella, just go lay down.
Come here, Star. Come.
So we'll be going back to that and we're wearing the same thing we wore last year because
Why
you
not?
know, why not? It still works.
Yeah.
And is that all I have? Okay. Well, I don't really have anything else to say about Disney. I haven't heard anything from them. Not Disney's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party is still going on, but that's what I started talking about. So she said that apparently cast members don't get into that for free.
No.
Which makes sense because they give like giant bags of candy out, and they don't want cast members coming in every night and just scooping up all that candy.
Yeah.
Now, what I don't know is if Disney pays for that candy or if they get it sort of donated by the candy companies because like, oh wow, I haven't had a Twix in a while. Ooh, this is really good. I should go buy some, marketing. But
I would suppose that they would get a deal on buying in bulk.
But even if they don't pay for it, the sponsors are probably like, oh, we don't want your employees coming in and just grabbing bags of candy every night.
Sure.
So what I said is, well, then why don't? So what Disney, is from here, it looks like they should do is have a cast member night for Not So Scary, and then like just don't give out candy, or like maybe limit it to one per person or something like that, so they can at least experience, because there's the other things, there's a parade, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes on, but yeah, she said she's never gone, and like, so it's pretty expensive.
So Phenomenal Brand just says part of the candy has to be sponsored. There's also random stuff like applesauce.
Yeah, we have that at there's that Brick or Feed as well.
Yeah, and that makes sense, Brandy. That like part of it is a sponsorship kind of thing.
But I don't know if they just outright pay for it, as in exchange for marketing, or if Disney pays for it, but just like a severely discounted rate. Because can you imagine the amount of candy that they must even if everybody went home with like one piece of everything, it's still the amount of people.
That's easily, well, let's say 50,000 pieces.
Well, it's probably a lot more than that, but
yeah, I mean, if every guest had one piece of candy, then easily 50,000.
I'm sure it's more than that even.
Yeah,
but still, that's a lot. And Brick or Treat is the same way. We found out last year that they give you a lot of candy.
Oh yeah, they give you a bag, right?
Yeah.
And the bag was full.
And they said last year that they were going to expand the treat trail. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty awesome. So other stuff is opening night for Not Scary Farm was the 19th. And so this past Friday, I don't know. But it's open now. And here's a look at their map.
Yeah, past Thursday, Dave. This last Thursday.
Oh, Thursday then. Okay. Yeah. So they actually, so they open on Thursday. So here's a look at the map of all the, if you're familiar at all with the park. And
Wow.
What are you complaining about? I like the software, but it has so many different things that are just difficult.
Yeah.
So I think I just need to put it back to this on studio. I don't know. So it is their 47th year, I think.
Damn.
Because they've been doing it. This is where Halloween event started and it is the first theme park in the United States.
That's just crazy to me. Before the both of us were born, they were having a Halloween event.
Yeah. And
to think like most other Halloween events didn't start until at least somewhere in the 90s.
The one over at Hollow Scream, they're just now getting to their 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
And 2010 was ours.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't know when Not So Scary opened. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows that. But our event started in '91, but it started in even earlier than that in California in '86.
Mhm.
But even then, Not Scary Farm had been going on for quite a while before then. So
in pretty much every way, Knott's Berry Farm has been the pioneer for the theme park industry.
yeah.
They were the first theme park, and they were the first Halloween event.
And I don't know if it went back and forth or not, but they're kind of setting the standards for our park closes at 5 p.m.
Mhm.
and we now as of the 23rd, I forgot. I was looking. We used to have 12 a.m., 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. nights. Now it's only 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., which is what Knott's Berry Farm does for Knott's Scary Farm. It's 26 nights this year. It is 12 nights, if I counted correctly, 12 nights until 1 a.m. and 14 until 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
For Halloween Horror Nights, it seems like every year they have more 2 a.m. nights.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was thinking about it last year because I was like, it was a 2 a.m. night. I was like, it feels kind of long, but ending at 12 just feels so short.
it feels kind of long maybe if you're working it, but
Yeah.
if you come up like we came up, or even you, because you managed it like a newbie, but you went the entire opening night of Horror Nights, and you still didn't see all the houses. So
Yeah.
even 1 a.m. seems kind of early. If you had followed Dr. David's prescription of getting to the park before it closed, going to stay and Scream, which you probably didn't do.
No, I did. I was. I did the opposite of your suggestion, though. I went directly to Stranger Things because I was expecting that to be packed all night long. So I went to Stranger Things first, and then I saw both shows, so that killed at least 2 hours.
That I would have told you not to do.
Yeah, but I saw both shows and 5 houses with Non-Express, which is pretty solid.
I feel like if you went to Springfield and hit the houses in the back, skip the shows, and did the front houses later, that you probably could have gotten at least 2 more houses.
Sure, and I tend to agree with that, but I was expecting it to be like last year, where we had like record numbers like opening night. So I was like, all right, Stranger Things is going to be 2 hours all night long. So no matter what I do, I'm going to be waiting for that. So I may as well do that first. And I wanted to see the shows anyway, so I decided to do that. And I knew what I was doing. I made the conscious decision to, all right, this is not the most time efficient way to do it, but it's what I would like to do, so I'll do this.
Yeah, I just would figure that you would want to see all the houses.
Well, sure. But I also knew I'd get another shot to see the rest of the houses, so I made the decision to go ahead and.
Oh, did you take another night off?
Yeah. I have one more guest night.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll definitely see everything on my own without Express, and that's good for me.
All right. I wish that you had them back to back, so you would have been able to talk more about all the houses.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself on opening night, like, I should have taken Saturday off as well, but
yeah. I would say that you should take off team member preview, but you need team member preview.
Yeah.
Because that's the awesomest time to go.
Yeah.
So, getting back to Not So Scary Farm, they repeat houses every year, just like Hollow Scream.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 new houses this year, which one is called Waxworks.
Help. Help me.
So it's the whole like help me is a little cliche at this point, but it's I believe it's a wax figure factory that shut down, and now this guy's kind of gone insane and it's making a little bit like House of a Thousand Corpses, making artwork out of people.
Yeah.
With melted wax.
So that's a cool concept. Like the help me, but like the concept of like he's just taken somebody and like made them into a mannequin made out of wax, and they can't move, but like like if you think about it, like that's kind of a horrifying concept. Like like someone just like here you're gonna stay in here and you're gonna like stay in here forever now and.
Well, I mean, not forever. I'm sure they don't live very long once he starts.
Yeah, but like, so like I'm already kind of picturing the sort of scares from the scare actors is like a lot of statue, like scares and.
Yeah.
But that's cool. All right, cool.
I don't know if I'll ever get enough money coming in from my various income sources from YouTube, but if we somehow made enough money, I'd like to go, but
yeah,
it's it's expensive getting out there and in a hotel and the tickets are probably I forget what they are. They're probably not that much because getting into the park was not that expensive. But I meant to say at the top of the show, I have a note I forgot that I have it's in the description of all my videos. I do have a link to Amazon, so if you are buying anything from Amazon, please visit that link first. I'm not going to get like any information. I'm not going to get your name, your phone number, your address, and where you ordered. Like all I see is the item that's ordered, when it's marked as shipped, and then I get a percentage of that. But it doesn't change how much it costs for you. But things like that is I buy a lot of things on Amazon. Like I bought that light on Amazon, those lights on Amazon, this microphone, Stream Deck. I actually traded my old PlayStation Vita for, but there's stuff all around me that the laptop stand I bought on Amazon, and I want to buy another one of those microphones so I can stop having the shirt issue. So I'd like to do that pretty soon, but I need to get up to $10 a month before they send me Amazon credit, and it's kind of lacking this month. So if you would please, if you're going to be purchasing something from Amazon anyway, please follow that link and bookmark it. Helps us out a lot, and again, it doesn't cost you anything more. So.
Dave, I have the Not Scary Farm tickets if you would like me to read them.
Oh, I'll take some.
All right. So.
Oh, you said you have some Not Scary Farm tickets.
I have the prices for the Not Scary Farm tickets.
God, what a tease.
So, a single night admission is $43.
And randomly, if you have AAA, like I have had for longer than I've been driving, which is odd. They do have AAA discounts on the ticketing and some of the merchandise, if not all the merchandise, which thankfully one of the people who work there at the store asked me, great, when I bought something like, hey, do you have a AAA membership? I'm like, yeah, because like when you buy merchandise, it's not something you would think you'd use that card for, but they do have it. So if that's $43, there's a chance that there's a discount if you have AAA. I don't think that there's a California state discount, because there might be, but $43 is pretty expensive. So that's a possibility as well.
Now the Not Scary Farm Pass, which is admission to every single night, is $105, but
which is still not much.
No, that's pretty great. It also says right here, it says hurry, only limited quantities are available. So that probably sells out like quick. And also they have Not Scary Farm, Scary Farm admission, Fright, and Fastlane. So that's their version of Express.
Yeah.
That's $125.
Which is what you'd pay for just Express alone at Universal
Yeah.
sometimes.
And Not Scary Farm all-inclusive ticket, which is $158. It says save up to $73 with the Not Scary Farm all-inclusive ticket. Includes Scary Farm admission, parking, Fright and Fastlane, and a Not Scary Farm buffet dinner. Not season pass holders save up to an additional $5 off all Scary Farm inclusive tickets. So that's a good deal.
That's cheap.
Yeah, that's $158. You get parking. You get admission to all the nights.
And I'm assuming that buffet is probably where Universal got their scare actor dining experience from.
Yeah.
It's probably the same thing.
Yeah. Now you can you can, if you so like, you can just do the buffet,
Right,
which
of course.
which
or the Fright Fast Lane.
yeah. Well, it's only the buffet is for $35.
But $90 for the Fright and Fast Lane.
Yeah, sure. So you could get the $43 plus the $90, which in really like you're saving money if you just do the
Yeah, that's $90 for the Fright and Fast Lane is a lot of money compared to the other prices.
Yeah. I guess if you're there for only like one night, like
One night only.
Yeah.
The Blues Brothers.
you could maybe do that, but like I mean, like if you're gonna be there at least twice, you may as well just go for the
Yeah. And if we ever did somehow stumble upon someone who's like, I love your videos and I have more money than I know what to do with. Here's $10,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I ever seem to get more people on Patreon, which I don't know why I have such a hard time doing, we'd like to go out there. I'm sure we'd go for more than one night with all the cost of flying and food and all that.
And yes, Brandy, Phenomenal Brandy asks, wait, is it spelled buffet? And yes, it's spelled
BOO-FET, I think.
yeah. So buffet.
Or buffet.
Buffet. Hello, welcome to our buffet.
Wait,
Please grab.
Did you just call me fat?
You will be after you have our buffet.
Yeah. So, I wonder if they have the same rules for the Peanuts area as we do for the Seuss Landing, where like they can't do anything scary in that area.
I mean, it depends. If the Schultz estate doesn't mind the scary stuff, then yeah, they can do it. I know that the Seuss estate does not want anything scary to happen in Seuss Landing, so like they even turn out all the lights in Seuss Landing during Halloween Horror Nights after Islands of Adventure closes, because they.
No, I think turning off all the lights sounds pretty scary to me.
Well, with the lights out, it is less dangerous.
But it's still scary.
Yeah.
Now, what they do at Knott's Berry Farm that they don't do at Universal, which I don't understand, is they also have Knott's Spooky Farm, which is daytime. I think it's daytime. It's a family friendly Halloween thing, which that's where the Peanuts characters and if you watched my videos from California, which I've said a million times, but please do, the Peanuts show that happens during the day, they have a daytime spooky version of it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why Universal hasn't started that. I know we're not Disney, but it seems like for families who don't stay for horror nights, that they should have something during the day. They like retheme some of the rides, like the Timber Mountain log ride has an overlay, which is something we don't do either, which is too bad.
Yeah.
It could be an IP thing. And the treat trail with stuff during the day for kids, which would be pretty awesome if we do that at Universal, but we don't. So the next house that is new this year is Origins, the Curse of the Cleo something.
You are hereby charged with the crimes that have befallen our good town of Calico. You've been found guilty of burning down the barn at the East Fork Road. Guilty for the slaughter and mutilation of livestock at Boone Ranch. Guilty for conjuring the storm that led to the disappearance of 4 children. Guilty for the seduction of the menfolk of this town. And guilty for the bloodletting and murder of 13 citizens. It is the judgment of the citizens of this town, and by order of the powers invested in me, that you are hereby found guilty of witchcraft and sentenced to be hanged from the neck until dead. Sarah Marshall, do you have any final words?
So that one is a little bit longer. That is the other new house this year, which is basically they hang her and right before she puts a curse on the whole town.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the house is about. So that was in their big announcement video announcement they had, which is I don't know if we should do that or not, but we don't. They had I think it was at the Charles M. Schultz Theater. They had a whole presentation for the I don't know. It was a whole show with the scare actors and all that, and then they announced the new houses. So, of course, that was over in Knott Farm. So that's pretty cool.
So, Phenomenal Brandy asks, aren't people digging the new dark art stuff at Hogsmeade?
I am.
Well, she said she's pointing out that it's family friendly-ish.
I can see how people might, because it is a bit of a scare zone. It is a little scary for some people because they kind of walk around and it's all foggy and stuff, but. Yeah. It's not intense, and it's certainly not gory or anything like that.
It does seem to be kind of popular, Brandy. When my mom was here, we went and saw it, and so there's like these Death Eaters that walk around Hogsmeade, and at least one of them will point her wand at your forearm, asking for your dark mark. It was actually kind of funny. Two guests wearing the Hogwarts robes came out, and so like they cover your sleeve. So she comes out and she like points at he was wearing a Ravenclaw robe. She points at his wrist, his forearm, like, hey, do you have a dark mark? And he rolls up his sleeve to show he doesn't have one. She's like, psh, and just like walks off.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't have time for this.
But as far as I know, it's pretty successful.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we don't have to work it. So.
Yeah.
But I saw it 2 times on opening night, and then came back again recently after that. Yeah. So there's some other houses that are returning. One of the returning houses is called Dark Entities.
What?
Oh, sorry, Entities.
Dark and okay.
Sorry, I thought. Yeah, I guess it's not Dark Entities. Dark Entities. Dark Ride. Take it easy. Paranormal Inc., Pumpkin Eater, Shadowlands, Special Ops, Infected, and The Depths. Not of fear, just The Depths.
The depths, but the depths of what, Dave?
Well, you just have to go out there and find out.
All right.
And Scare Zones are Carn Evil,
Which is cool.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Forsaken Lake, not The Forsaken, just Forsaken Lake, Ghost Town Streets, which I feel like they didn't spend a whole lot of time on that name, and The Hollow. Now, shows, they actually have 4 shows, which
Oh,
is
wow.
pretty cool.
Wait, so how many houses, how many zones, and how many
It's 2 new ones plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses.
Okay.
I think how many? There's 4 zones, but 4 shows.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And so, like, all right, think about all that offering, plus those low prices.
Yeah.
So, like, definitely, like, if you're going to Not Scary Farm, like, go for that. At least go for the season pass.
Yeah. When I was out there, I took the carriage ride or whatever it was. The guy who was sort of, I guess, driving asked me. He said I was talking to him about Not Scary Farm, and like I love the Halloween events, and like I had to come out because it was the first in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, if you have time, come check out our Not Scary Farm." I'm like, I could make the time. It's that's not the problem.
Yeah, it's I'm here in July, and
Yeah.
you
The
know,
problem is I live on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It sounds like it might be worth it, especially the money spent at Knott's Berry Farm. And I mentioned before, I did actually spend more money at Knott's Berry Farm than at Disneyland, buying some stuff. I bought a thing for this guy because I knew he would appreciate having a little bit of horror stuff from the first ever, the birthplace of the Halloween event at
And
theme parks.
thank you very much. Thank you.
I guess I could have like taken a picture and like pick what you want, but then it wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But I am happy with my surprise.
Yeah.
You got me a good one.
and like I said last show, like I kind of known you for a while, so I was like, I feel like this would be what you would think
Yeah.
in a reasonable price range. And well, I couldn't give you the event guide because they weren't available, but the map of the park and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did actually talk to our friend Jessica. If you have been to the parks ever, she's the one who has Sam, the skeleton, and all the Halloween lights, and she has lights all over her ECV all the time. It'd be cool if she can ever be on the show.
Yeah.
But I talked to her about going to California, and was like, "Hey, are you interested in some of the maps?" She's like, "Yeah." She went to Knott's Berry Farm back in the day, and so I brought her because I brought a whole bunch of extra ones because I'm like, well, it doesn't cost me anything, so I gave her a pile of maps as well.
Cool.
So the first show is called Awaken the Dead, which is a high energy party Fiesta Village at Fiesta Village with rhythmic music, performances by a live DJ, not pre-recorded. I mean, who hires a pre-recorded DJ? Throughout the night, dancing, Sugar Skull go-go dancers, and with Awaken the Dead, which I guess is a band, or I'm not sure, but basically it's a party zone.
Yeah, it sounds like a dance party.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
So, like, it just being a theme park veteran, the way that's described, it sounds exactly like a dance party.
Yep. And then there's Conjurers, Magic and Mirth. I'm not sure what a mirth is. I know what a myth is, but a mirth. Yeah, well, I mean, a dead DJ would be pretty fitting. And most of the time, like, modern DJs don't even do anything. They just make a playlist and they stand there.
Well, they're supposed to rock out, or at least,
But they don't, like, DJs traditionally were, like, putting another record, like, they were doing things. Now they just, like, walk away from the, like, oh. I mean, that's why they would call it a disc jockey, because they were constantly flipping out discs for other discs.
Yeah.
Actually doing stuff, which now it's more like prepared before they get there. The ones that come to our park, usually there's like it's probably pretty common. There's just like a DJ who just works on like actually playing the music, and then like a guy with the microphone who interacts with the crowd.
Yeah.
The hype man, I guess.
Yeah.
So Magic and Mirth is in the Birdcage Theater, which is pretty fitting because birds and magic kind of go together.
Yeah.
Once again, will be the home of the comedy and magic of Knott Scary Farm. Join us for award-winning magicians, magicians and Fox's Masters of Illusions. A show apparently. I don't watch TV anymore. Regulars take the stage to amaze and amuse.
Cool.
So we did briefly have a magic show the one time when we went to Hornets 20. Unfortunately, it was on our list of things we didn't get to do.
Yeah. It was Brian Bushwood.
Yeah. A little bit of that is because we went on rides, which in retrospect we shouldn't have, but it didn't take up that much space time, but it didn't help. That's because if you're there enough, people don't go on the rides very often. But so that's another I guess celebrity, which is Masters of Illusion. So, or the show, I mean.
Say that name again. Who the magician is?
Doesn't say.
There was a name. You said Fox something.
Fox's Masters of Illusion.
Oh, okay.
That's the show. So then the next one is at the is a show where basically that Bill and Ted came from. It is the Hanging Witch's Revenge. So citizens of Calico face their fiercest foes yet, the censors, which I feel like kind of is the theme every year, kind of like Fiends is the same show every year.
I mean, not really, but
99% of it is. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'm over it. So they do the same song. Here comes the sexy nurses. He makes some dick jokes, and then, yeah. So basically, it's a pop culture show with some special effects and things like that. Like they put a pile of, I guess, blood on the railings and stuff, and they slam people's heads into it, and it squirts all over the place. And they just roast pop culture, which is something I miss. I wish we still have our pop culture show, which I believe could be hosted by Beetlejuice. I think that would be more fitting and more Halloween anyway. And it's a character that they still have the rights to, so I don't know why they don't do that. And then the final one is a new show this year, which is called Puppet Up Uncensored. I'm sure it's somewhat censored, but because it seems like they follow the same rules as Universal. Like some language in the park is okay, but the F word is still off limits.
Yeah.
Which I think is just crazy because like you can show pretty realistic figures of people who have been sliced open, their ribs pried open, their guts hanging out, blood everywhere, people being murdered, tortured, but don't say the F word.
American standards and practices is pretty weird. Bad words are like forbidden, but like violence is okay. You can't show a certain color of red, but you can do the same violence, just not have like a certain shade of red.
Yeah.
To have the blood flying all over the place. And sexual things are pretty much off limits.
Yeah. It's like you can have a guy who's spread open, their guts falling out, tortured, but like don't show his weenie.
Yeah. So I didn't create the standards and practices, but yeah, they're pretty weird. Like when you get down to it, like why is this allowed but not that?
Yeah. Oh, well, you're not on the page.
All right, so
No, I meant John said our values are completely bass backwards.
yes, and I agree, Felix.
If you ever watched, it's a really good movie, The People versus Larry Flint. There's a really good speech in there about that. It's the same thing. He's like, here's all these pictures of war and death from Vietnam, yet like he had a picture of some boobs in a magazine, and and people are like, well, someone tried to actually kill him.
yeah,
And death threats and stuff like that because, oh no, he showed a body,
yeah,
like a living body of a person who agreed and was paid
Yeah.
to model, but but showing all this awful stuff and guns and violence, that's all right. So,
John says he worked for Larry Flint for 1 week as a temp.
oh, that's cool.
Cool. If you feel like briefly telling us about it, then yeah, cool. Leave a comment.
I think that the movie made him look pretty good.
Yeah, he's probably gonna say it was like a business like any other. They just happen to deal in, the body.
When you say you worked for him, like directly or just in his company?
Probably in the company.
Yeah.
But like, that's what he means. But if you feel comfortable, go ahead and elaborate a little bit. It's weird sensibilities. I have here. It says the Masters of Illusion. I don't know if it's the same Masters of Illusion. That's gonna be enough scary farm, but Farrell Dillon. It says Farrell Dillon is one of the United States' most popular comedy magicians. Greg Gleason. Greg has been touring with Masters of Illusion since 2014. Joseph Gabriel. Joseph Gabriel is a master of spectacular bird illusions.
Is it on Fox?
The website is mastersofillusionvegas.com/cast.
Okay.
So possibly,
Because this is talking about a show on Fox.
I looked up Fox Masters of Illusion, and this was the first result.
Yeah. And really, data entry, he said.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Data interesting, nothing interesting. Well,
hey,
cool. All right.
What were your hours? Were your hours 6 to 9? Oh, yeah, pop out tonight. Believe it or not, I have to go to lead a Girl Scout meeting. Oh, all right.
Well, have a good night, Brandy. Thank you for joining us for a little while.
Well, that's a bummer, but thank you for joining it. We're gonna again have our rock talk a little bit later, probably not too long. This show actually didn't have as much to talk about, but I did shoot some video the last couple days of walking through the scare zones at Universal, getting back to Horror Nights. It's always a very difficult balance, which I guess brings up another PBS kind of message of I need to start actually working on getting my 1-year goal of getting replacing this camera with one that's more night vision capable. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm not sure. I've never looked at the analytics. If you guys watch this mostly on a computer or a phone, if you watch it on a phone, I guess I'm too old for that. I'd rather watch the video at home with a bigger screen and better audio. But a lot of people watch stuff on mobile.
Yeah. So
the resolution doesn't matter as much, but this is only 720p, which is, the camera is capable of recording 1080p, but it can't output to my computer. So it's I'm limited on my bandwidth. I'm limited by the camera as far as the quality image. But more importantly, the camera I want to get is phenomenal, no pun intended, in the evening. So I am going to be hopefully trying to save up money for that because my goal is by next Halloween Horror Nights to have that camera and shoot the scare zones and at night and have it look a lot better. The balance, where I'm going with this, is the balance is difficult because I started recording the Zombieville because I wanted to go around and get Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe last because it looks better at night, more so than the other ones with the lights. I started when the sun was still visible or just going below the buildings. By the time I got around to Rob Zombies, it was dark.
Yeah.
So it's really tricky. But I recorded once at like 6 o'clock, so like the entire time it was light out, just so you can see more detail in the scare zones. And then I did it once again with my GoPro with my stabilizer, so it's a little more stable. So I need to be editing that pretty soon. I got a little sidetracked with all the templates and stuff, which made for a pretty cool intro.
Mm-hmm.
Rock Talk looks really cool, and just still trying to make the show better and better, and my videos better as well. So hopefully, like I said, by next year, I'll have that. But so yeah, I went through the zones again. Do you have time to go through the zones after your final set?
No. By the time I get out, the zones have wrapped up for the night. Sometimes I may have a few minutes to kind of rush myself into a final house. I have to decide on the house and then just get there. I likely can't make it to like the other side of the park. I have to stick with the sound stages, and that's if I'm lucky. Yeah, like by the time my last set is over, I think the streets have already wrapped up. No, that's not true. When I do Clown Parade, the final set for streets is like coming to a close as well. Because like I always see an arcade still out. So I guess in a way I kind of catch a few seconds of an arcade, which is cool. I get to enjoy the laser with the fog. Like that's always neat to look at. I get to watch some of the scares for like maybe a few seconds, but then like I'm on the move and I got to do a parade. So
yeah. Send in the clowns.
Yeah. It's funny, like the guests seem to enjoy the parade. Like it's not very long, and you kind of have to.
I don't think I've ever saw it.
If you want to, around, let's say 12:45 on a 1 a.m. or 1:45 on.
So you only do it once a day?
We do it coming out, and then we do it to close out. So.
Oh, so it's not every set change.
No, it's
Oh, that's probably why I didn't see it.
It's my cast will do it going into the house, and then we don't do it again until the end of the night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have seen a few characters like back of house, but not a parade.
Mm-hmm.
But I was actually talking. I think I mentioned this before. I was actually talking to somebody recently I work with, and said it'd be kind of cool if they could, and it basically kind of did this, if they can have a little bit of a scare zone into a house. Like it's too bad that I don't know if Rob Zombie's house would fit in where your house is, or if they would put the Hellbilly Deluxe in Hollywood, but it would really be cool if the Rob Zombie's scare zone was right there, and then you walked from there into the house.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Tie the two together.
They sort of did that during 25. If you went to Psychoscarpy Unleashed and then went into Body Collectors, all of that deals with Shady Brook Asylum.
Yeah.
So kind of.
But the closest they've done so far is your house.
Yeah.
With it's really a photo op, but still the characters are outside and it's a little bit of a little piece of the scare zone from last year. They couldn't do that much because it's outside of it's Vanity Ball, but I'd like to see a little bit more about that. But it'd be kind of tough. If I don't know, we'll see. The big 3-0 is oh.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh.
That's okay, John. Go ahead, make those quesadillas. I hope they're tasty.
No. No, I'm hungry. Thanks. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
You're talking about the big 3-0s coming up.
Yeah, obviously Universal's already working on the 30th anniversary year for Horror Nights, because they start in the following year before that year, I think, even opens. So we'll see what kinds of awesomeness they have for us next year. There have been rumors of an 11th house, but honestly, I don't know where they can put it. That building that has Graveyard Games has more space in it, but there's no space I can see for a line, an extra line, so that wouldn't really work.
And is Legendary Truth doing anything this year?
Not that I know of, but that's kind of common for Legendary Truth.
Yeah.
Because we only found out about it accidentally once. So they might be doing something, but you have to be the right person to know, like, a secret and all that. It's not going to be something that's obvious.
Yeah.
So.
And they might do it like they did for 25, where they just kind of like burn it in, like without officially saying anything.
Yeah. And the only time that's been not secretive is for 20 or was it 20? They had the Legendary Truth house.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know.
Well, for 30, I'm really hoping it's kind of like what they did with 20, where all the icons are going to be running around. They always do a retrospective house on the anniversary years.
Yeah.
I liked the way we've seen 2 anniversary houses. I like the way they did that. Where it's a compilation house, like you would go through one room of this and one room of that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just like, maybe it's because it's my first year, but like just 20 Years of Fear just like has always been like this highlighted year for me. So I'm hoping that they kind of do something like that, even though 25 was a really good year. And maybe they'll go the 25 route and specify like a certain icon, like maybe it'll be like the Usher's, Universal Palace Theater, I don't know, and like it'll be like certain different years, there's like certain rooms for each house. I'm kind of hoping they do a Slider Cinema room,
Maybe.
Which, who knows? If they did anything, they'd have it like the Yeti. Actually, I don't think. Could they do a compilation of a compilation house? That would be tricky to do.
Yeah. I don't know. There's 30 years, so it's not.
Yeah.
So hopefully a lot of it isn't going to be recent stuff.
Well, that's what they did for 25 for Jack Presents.
Yeah.
Nothing dated back before 2001. And it was okay, so you had 14 years to work with, but
Yeah.
well,
that might have been limited by his character.
Sure. And although they did use the Dungeon of Terror at the show.
Yeah. But it was mostly more recent stuff.
Yeah. But I'm definitely looking forward to 30. Hopefully, if all goes well, you'll be scare acting during 30.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I meant like in general, like if anything else to say for this show.
Yeah, that's all. I wanted to just point out that I'm looking forward to 30. I think this is a very strong year. I kind of wish I could enjoy it a little bit more as a guest, but
Yeah.
I'll get to see everything. I guess I may as well read John's comment of so he did data entry for, I guess, Hustler magazine, and would get subscriptions from people in jail from time to time. He would process the subscription cards and then enter the data into a database using antiquated computers. So I'm guessing like a DOS kind of OS, probably just
Well,
like.
it's back in '99. I don't think it was that old.
But I think if he's saying antiquated computers in '99, then they were at least a few years old.
Yeah.
And if it's data entry, then like it's not like you're, need a whole lot of graphical. You're just typing. So
Maybe.
yeah, I knew it. DOS. He says yes, DOS.
Wow, that
Yeah.
was extremely outdated by then.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons I always have been a Mac user, because I saw DOS and like, no. Way back then, you had to like memorize commands and stuff like that. And like,
There were help files, but like yeah, it was a lot of like you had to know what you were doing.
yeah. So I feel like I'm kind of stretching out the time on the
Alright.
show. So
Well, let's wrap up. If you like, please join us for Rock Talk, which will be in another 15 minutes.
yep, it's right here on the Roddy Paws channel. I'm not going to be able to send out a tweet about it because what I did here with this here computer that I did a little bit last week, but this Stream Deck and this software combination is pretty awesome because they released APIs for this that work with the streaming software. So now I have a long list of things. We didn't even notice the names come up. I hope they came up. Our names should have come up
Oh,
in the beginning of the show. So it's basically a macro. So it starts the opening animation, automatically sends out a tweet, plays the video. Then once the video is over, it fades out to us. Then it brings up our two names separately, and then fades out our names separately, all with just pushing one button.
yeah, that's a lot. That's cool.
So I'm not as distracted by the technology, but it still works in weird ways. So things still go wrong on camera. But thanks again to John and Phenomenal. I forgot to tweet out yesterday about the show, so I don't know, or maybe it's just a busy day for people. But thanks for watching. If you're watching this on demand later, and we should be back. Where's your Callie? Next month, I think. That's why I don't like hiding the doc. October the 8th.
All right.
As of right now, should be our next show if nothing comes up. Although I think I might be working. I think I might be working then, so I'm not sure. I'm finally getting freelance stuff again, so
Okay.
so we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working all day that day, so not sure when. Maybe we'll try next week, or maybe we'll try
We could do Monday.
the next.
Well, you're never
No,
off
I
on
can't.
Monday. Yeah, you're never off on Mondays.
So it might be the following week, but anyway,
And thank you, John.
thanks for watching, and wait till you guys see what the intro is for Rock Talk.
Mm.
I thought this one was cool, and I put that one together. It's even cooler. So comment when you see it. Phenomenal. You'll like it. It's phenomenal.
John says the wiping of your fog bowl is very entertaining.
Well, it's more of more because of this desk is just paint.
Yeah.
And paint. I told Brian, I was like, I feel like the bartender. So what's gonna be, pal? And your answer is
Listen, I'll get why not? Let me get a rum and coke.
wow. That's not the right answer at all.
What does it say?
So what'll be, pal?
Hair of the dog that bit me, Lloyd.
There you go.
Yeah.
Took a little while.
Hi,
Anyway.
Lloyd.